Man, what an awful week. What an awful week. Within 5 days, we've lost King Von, Quando Rondo. It doesn't even account for all of the other rappers that we lost this year. Pop Smoke. They're just over the years. There's been so many, rappers become a dangerous sport. Not become, but it's been a dangerous sport. It's always had that street element. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. What I wanted to address, because y'all already know the particulars. All the stuff's been broadcast with Quando Rondo and King Von. A lot of the stuff that Mo3 was into. I want to talk about that. Man, it's unfortunate, man. Because we watch these rappers and watch them as they grow, as they come from the trenches. A lot of them coming from nothing. Put in the grind for them to be, the chosen ones. The ones that can, feed their family, feed their people. And have that opportunity erased. It's unfortunate. But you got to think. You got to deal with the details and understand the life that they live. It doesn't make the situation any less tragic, but there's something that has to be learned from these situations. Where did they go wrong? What mistake did they make? What decision could they have made that was different within the moment? What I want to address is the fans. And I understand a lot of them are young people, but I see grown people engaging in this nonsense. Is especially when you have two successful, moderately successful artists, known worldwide, and they both come from the streets. That street element is going to bleed over eventually. When a lot of them bump heads, some stuff is going to go right. But what the fans tend to do, what you tend to see is whatever rapper ends up getting murdered or killed, the fans automatically like the position a rapper, the other rapper, the surviving one, as the bad guy, the villain. It doesn't matter which side did it. If any of the rappers who passed away within the last week, if it was the other side and their rapper had met their fate, Lord forbid, then they would have been saying the other side, the ones who did pass away. You would have had those fans blaming, or, not even that, just people in general casting the other side as, they're the bad guys, they're murderers, and how could you? Let's just be clear. Let's say if the shoe was on the other foot and it was Quando Rondo instead of King Von. Let's just be real clear. King Von would have been the bad guy. But I mean, these guys, they came up, the same things that they become famous for, because they became famous worldwide, known for, because they do what they do. They do their music, and they put on for the streets. They do the street shit. So that's what they do. A lot of the rhymes are real, or at least that's what's expected from the from the audience. And that's what the audience continuously says. They don't want no fakes. But then when it turns and it degenerates into some real shit, into some street shit, then all of a sudden, there's heroes and villains, and we're playing good guy, bad guy. That guy's the bad guy for handling his business on the street level. I mean, that's what he is. That's what he marketed himself as. That was his claim to fame. And now he's being demonized for that? This is what y'all wanted. How does that even make sense? How does that even make sense? And then when you even get the details, you sit there and say, okay, what else did you expect? What else did you expect? These are street cats, they gonna handle it in the streets. And it's gonna go down however. And whatever the outcome is, you assume that these guys are gonna, they ready for whatever. But it's the fans playing these sides, man, like it's a game or something, like it's a sporting event. But that's how it's always been. I mean, even the Chicago stuff, you had fans taking sides, taking sides in that. Chief Keef and Lil JoJo, OTF, FBG, stuff like that. People taking sides like it's a whole game. Understand? I can't even say they don't understand. It's just they have a complete disregard for human life. Understand? Complete disregard in human life. And maybe that's something that just comes with age, because a lot of these people are young. But you gotta call a spade a spade. It's disregard for human life. Viewing them as a game for their own entertainment. And these rappers got to understand that too, the trap that they're falling in, because they're put under the pressure of trying to keep it real, and you don't want to look like you're compromised in the public eye. That could affect your record sales. You aren't what was sold on the box. So they're going to try to keep it real, and they're going to be tough, even if it means costing them their life. A lot of these cats, man, you saw with the situation with King Von, Quando, Rondo, that was some street stuff. Both sides handled it like that. There was things that didn't even have to happen, but it devolved into that. We don't know what the situation with Mo3 is. There's a lot of speculation. A lot of his back and forth with enemies. You know how he rocked and how he gave it up on the internet. He positioned himself as a dude that was with the friction. So it's hypocritical when we sit up there and we do all this crying and saying, how could he? How could he? Man, it's like that FedEx, man. Anybody who's a fan of the mob figures, the Jacker, RIP the Jacker, out of the Bay Area, FedEx said in the song, everybody asking me, why did I do it? But in the middle of the mischief, they was all yelling, shoot him. They was all yelling, shoot him. That's so true. That's true. That's all I got for this. I just wanted to address that because, yeah, like most things that go on nowadays, it's just a complete lack of just sense, even nuance when it comes to these situations. It's just everybody hops on the trend, everybody hops on the bandwagon, and they're going to ride with that biasly. And that's dangerous. So let me know, and I'll see y'all later. All right.